Hey, it's Jeff, and I was wondering if you heard the news about Casey Neistat. He sold his business to CNN for, well, the deals are not public, but it sounds like $25 million. Now, you might or might not know who Casey Neistat is. He is a YouTuber. Someone, until recently, he was publishing a daily video for, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. He's got almost 6 million followers on YouTube. So he's got this massive YouTube channel, and he gets massive traffic. And he had been developing, I guess, a network or a social network or a tool or an app, however you want to call it. It was something that was similar, had similar functionality to Snapchat. And so CNN bought his company, his media company. They bought his app, and the first thing they're going to do is shut down his app. The app's called Beam, and they're going to shut it down. So it's like, okay, so then why did they pay $25 million for this company if, like, the main thing with this company is that, is this app that they're going to shut down? And the reason is because he's got 5.9 million followers on YouTube. He's got a lot of people that follow him. So Casey, he's a talented filmmaker. He's put out a lot of videos, and he's created this very strong following. And apparently it's worth $25 million because, and YouTube, or I'm sorry, CNN, who bought the company, doesn't even get his followers. They're not buying his YouTube channel. They're just getting Casey and his partner to come in, and it sounds like they're planning on creating some kind of a network for them. But this is the key. This is what I want you to get. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I talk about having followers, having a list, an email list, having a platform, and how that's the one critical thing that you can have in your business. And if you have that, you can take that and leverage it into so many different things. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of creating an email list because, well, I've just seen the data over and over in my business and in my clients' businesses that there is almost nothing that can drive traffic and drive behavior and drive influence as quickly as sending an email to an email list that you've built up and you've built a relationship with. In this case, Casey has built this up on YouTube. So he didn't, he broke my cardinal rule of always pushing people to an email list, and he built his following completely via YouTube. But this is one of those where the exception proves the rule. Because he's got that platform and the following, there's no other way he would be on the map for CNN. And there's just no way they would pay him that money. That's why it's so critical to build that following, build that platform. Now, I am a big fan of doing it via email. Casey did it via YouTube. It worked out for him. Some people might do it via Snapchat. It might work out for them. Some people could do it via Facebook. It could work out for them. Instagram, whatever the channel. There's lots of people that are building in different areas, and sometimes it works out. But then many times it doesn't work out to build on those various platforms that you don't control. Because I do know people that have had legitimate YouTube channels that just for some reason YouTube thought they were outside the boundaries of their terms of service and they shut them down. I know people that lost Facebook accounts. I know people that have lost just about every social media account you could have. I know people that have lost them. Sometimes because they were in a gray area, and sometimes they were just collateral damage when the rules changed. So I am a big fan, wherever you build that following, to then take them to an email list. So I'm sort of giving you mixed messages here because it worked for Casey. But for most people, it's far better to take people to an email list where you control the platform. But what I'm saying here is this is just the latest example. It's just one of a gazillion examples. But Casey had this, built up a tool. It looked like the tool might gather some traction. It didn't gather any traction. But through everything else he was doing, and by putting out a daily vlog, by putting out a daily video on YouTube, and building up 5.9 million subscribers on YouTube, he was able to take that and leverage it into a $25 million deal with CNN. So if you've ever, needed underlined to start building your platform, a lot of people are like, that sounds great, but I don't have a list. The deal is no one has lists when they start out. Casey didn't have a list. He, at one point he had 0 subscribers on YouTube, and then he got his first subscriber. I've built my email lists in many different markets, and every single time I've started over again, I started with my very first subscriber. That's the way everyone starts out. So to have any success in this digital world, in this digital business that we're in, the number one rule is you got to build your following, got to build your subscribers, and of course, none of this does any good unless you have a relationship with them. So I'm just going to put that out there. But you have to start building. I think the best way to do it is to build an email list. I've seen that proved over and over and over. YouTube worked for Casey. It's awesome for Casey, but you should build an email list. I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and let's go get them this week.